Anything like that makes someone different from the other, or someone seems.
You think that if it is that easy to unite as Africans, it should have happened? Peter want to talk. Let's not make him feel like.
Let me just finish my point. Yeah, I'm saying things like tribalism, racism, colorism, all those stuff are here to stay. I don't think like it's ending anytime soon. So speaking of citizens fighting each other, it will always be there. So I don't think it's always living. So, thanks.
I would say that the idea of a United States of Africa is an idea, it's a utopian idea. I don't think we can reach that particular space in the current makeup of the African, the politics in Africa at the moment. I think it's just utopian, but there is a need, to work towards some form of integration and cooperation, right? But this idea of a one language, one currency, one passport, I think we are just asking for too much, because at the moment what we have is we have 54 African presidents and leaders who are selfish, and I think we have the African Union at the moment. The African Union has three executive organs, which is the Pan-African Parliament, the Commission, and the African Human Rights Court. These arms they are very weak, but they can be empowered. Now, they are not given any powers by the General Assembly, which is the heads of state. They hold all the power to make decisions that affect anything within the African continent when it comes to the AU. But given that these three units are given that power, we can have a system whereby countries can hold each other to account. I think in 2002 we had that Africa peer review mechanism that was formulated within the confines of the African Union, where countries were going to be, to be subjected to this review of how they are managing their own countries politically and all that. But these things are not being, they are not being pursued at that level, because each and every one of the 54 leaders is very comfortable of doing their own thing, and they don't even hold each other to account. If there's an election dispute in Malawi or in Zimbabwe, they will never come, to help or to then tell their peer that no, you are doing things wrong here. What they actually do is they prop each other up and give each other opportunities to do stupid things, I think. So it's to then think of and discuss of this one language, one currency, one passport. I think we are just getting ahead of ourselves. It's impossible with the current crop of leaders that we have and the political systems that we have across the African continent. Whatever is happening with the Africa, with AES, the Sahelian state, it's actually better that they've moved away from ECOWAS, because it's useless, being party to these regional bodies, because they do absolutely nothing when it comes to how they can be, a source of checks and balances for different African countries and presidents, So these guys are just in cahoots with each other. They'll never do anything for Africa. Actually, they are their purpose, one would imagine, is just to make our lives very difficult as a continent, because there's nothing. They cannot even agree on anything. The African Union summit is just a talk show, and they get invited to this US Africa summit, and they even go there rather than the United States coming to visit you. What is their purpose? They just embarrass us at every turn, and to think that we will ever have this United States of Africa, I think we're just getting ahead of ourselves. So I think we really need to start to clamor for a stronger African Union, especially within our own countries where we have political parties. We should ask these political parties, what's their agenda? their Africa agenda, and how best can they help in advancing an African agenda and the role of the African Union. So I'll yield.
Much. You know, look at the National Assembly, for example. They just go there, they just laugh, they adjourn. Sometimes they go for 3 months break. What the fuck are they doing? I'm talking about Nigeria. Something that they can't even pass a bill. You understand? Before they're going to pass a bill, they can go on break for many times. Some of them even fighting each other, taking the maize or whatever they call it, throwing tables on each other. Talk about, is this kind of people you want them to go and do one Africa with you? The idea is good, but let's not be emotional. That's what we say. We all want it. We all want peace. We all want to be one.
Okay, King of Lights, I have a question for Peter, right? What's the problem that holding some country in Africa back, like country like Zimbabwe? What's the problem? You guys chased your Musu a long time ago, but you are still suffering. What is the problem?
So,
you got your
I'm Zimbabwean, by the way, so thank you for that particular question. I'll tell you this. One of the biggest problems with Zimbabwe is we have a very, 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 leadership deficit, and, the biggest weakness within the Zimbabwean system is that you have a party, you have the state, and you have the military. There's a conflation there. One cannot even see where one starts and one ends. So Zimbabwe is like this military dictatorship, but it's veiled and people don't see it that way, but that's the reality on the ground. And there's too much brutality that is within the Zimbabwean system, and there's too much corruption. And that's why you see this flight of people going into Namibia, into South Africa, into Botswana. It's not even desirable, but that's what we are living with. And for then people to suggest an African unity out of such disjointed systems that we have as countries, how do we then go and make any unity with a well-managed polity like South Africa or Botswana or Namibia for that matter? So it doesn't work. So we have these issues that the African continent should be holding whoever is leading Zimbabwe to account to then say, no, but my friend, what you are doing here is not good. You are giving problems to your neighbors. That's number one. People are just going all over and creating problems for themselves and others. But we don't have that, so with whatever dispute that comes with elections in Zimbabwe, we are on our own, and the protest, the idea to protest becomes very, 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 very difficult when we have a military state that is structured the way the Zimbabwean state is structured. So it becomes very difficult. But one thing that I'll tell you is people are doing something from my perspective as someone who stays in Zim, and of course people might have their own ideas that we are not doing enough, but at one point I think we'll reach there and we'll achieve freedom for Zimbabwe and the future of Zimbabwe. Thank you.
Brother, I get your point. So you guys have no freedom of speech in Zimbabwe, right? There's like the military running.
Yeah. So we have one television station. We have the radio stations are all state controlled. The private ones are run by the cronies of the president. Then you have newspapers. The majority of the newspapers, I think I don't think there is even any free paper, because the other paper, the independent paper, is run by a presidential advisor, if I'm not mistaken.
Mr. Peter, sorry to cut you short, man. One will not understand what you're going through, or the Zimbabweans they are going through, unless they're in that shoe. I'm a Nigerian, right? Most of us have talked, most of us have tried everything we can. Some of us have gotten on alive. You understand? Some of us are still there fighting. Not like us that jackpot. You understand? Some of us could not take it and we jackpot. I'm not going to lie to you. But one will not understand the situation, you understand, of what an individual is passing through in their own homeland. You know, so it's not something to be laughed about, you know. So I really admire your courage for speaking out, you know, for saying the truth. Because sometimes if you don't say the truth the way it is, nobody will help you. Nobody will understand you, you know. So I know that people are like, oh, why do they jackpot? Why do they stand to fight? How can you fight people who are being supported by people who could stand for you? The African Union are supporting these motherfuckers, sorry to say, these puppets. I'm not lying. If not that the African unions are supporting all these presidents in all these African countries are now working, this shit will stop if they are truly African unions. There's nothing like African unions. The African unions are working for their masters still. You understand? They are serving them. They are getting their own cut. They're all developing their master's home. Their master is still collecting from them. So this is not something that to be joked with. Look at what is happening in Kenya. I don't even want to go there. Look at how many people are in the street, and yet nobody is helping. You don't even see it in the international media. The only thing the international media care about is about Israel. It's about Palestine. It's about, you know, Iran. You understand? But nobody talks about what is going on in Africa. You don't see nobody talking about what's going on in Congo. I don't know if you guys get it. So it's not something about like we are weak. No African is weak. Seriously, no African that is weak.
About some things. And disclaimer, I'm not here for African unite. I don't care about African unity or something. But what I'm just here to say is that when some people are trying to compare what is going on in Nigeria to the unity of Africa, it doesn't work like that. If you are going to put it that way, let me give you an example. You are claiming there is no unity in Nigeria, but if Hausa man today produces crops, who is he going to sell the crops to? Is he going to eat it alone? When an Igbo man goes to get our goods outside Nigeria or in Nigeria, who are they selling it to? Is it not to Nigerians? So when we are talking about unity, it's not all about, oh, we all want to be one person. No, it doesn't work that way. You don't have to have a shallow mind to think that way. What we are trying to talk about, it's about sharing ideas. It's about supporting each other. It's about making life easier for everyone. It's about making goods and services more accessible and more easy to transport each and everywhere in Africa. That way we won't depend on the white monopoly or white product. Imagine in Africa there is a product being produced in South Africa and it's being easily transported to Nigeria. That way it's going to be cheaper and it's going to be better for everyone. When we are talking about African unity or African being one, we are not talking about, oh, now Nigeria wants to be Zambia. No one, everyone is still going to retain their passport. Everyone is still going to retain their culture. Everyone is still going to retain their heritage. But the only thing that is going to be better out of it is the accessibility. And look at what you said earlier on. You said now Kenyans are fighting in their country and no one is helping them. Imagine there is unity and there is an easy way for people to move around, you know, and those leaders knows that, oh, these people can help each other. That way there will be unity. That way, all those leaders you are talking about, that, oh, these people, they are being caged their country. It won't be like that because more people will be able to come inside into the country and to help one another. So when we are talking about unity, let your mind be open. It's not all about, oh, now
for you, South
Africa.
What about
let me land. You can interject. Okay, let me land. So when we are talking about unity, some people think, oh, now everyone wants to be one. No, it doesn't work that way. It's about like what I said earlier, it's about the accessibility for the less privileged. Because now even if we are talking about the people that are rich in the country, they don't even care about this unity because they have access to everything they needed. But when we are talking about African unity, it's for the less privileged, the poor, the poorest of the poorest, so that things can be cheaper, things can be able, and the sharing of ideas. Maybe there is something that's, oh, this thing can help Africa. Oh, this thing is it's a new idea that is being developed. So that way, maybe a student from Nigeria can be easily transported to South Africa to work on a project and to bring out something good that will make life easier for everyone in Africa. It's not all just about passport. It's about making things easier. Thank you.
Now, I was asking you a question. You know there's an African Union. I think someone even put that on the comment section. What was the African Union created for?
Know that the African Union right now, it's for the elite. We all know that it's not a rocket science. But what we citizens are clamoring, what people are clamoring for right now, it's for this African Union to be brought down to the poorest of the poorest. Not only, African Union, they are having a meeting, they are now coming over. We want transparency. When there is unity and there is more transparency, news, communication, and information will be easily transported
And
to
then
everyone.
the question here is that where does this unity start from? You know, in the African Union is represented by the country's presidents, right, or the delegations, right? So if African Union is closing their mouth or their eyes watching what is going on in Kenya, in Nigeria, no, they don't speak. They don't send their military. They don't even have a force. You understand? United Nations have their peacekeeping, whatever they call them. They have their army, right? That when there's something going on, they're gonna go there and help, okay, and resolve. But they don't have it. You understand? One African, we're talking about one African, is, as I said again, it's not something that we say we're against because it's not something that is beautiful. This is something that we talk about not by emotion, but it's by realistic. First, you need to look at what has been put in place first before you go to a bigger picture. Because One Africa is bigger than AU. You understand? Because now we are one. You understand? Not by tribe, I get what you mean, but we share the same thing, maybe passport, currency, right? These are the things we have to do, right? And then we have the same budget, if it's possible. You understand? But here's the thing, when particular group are suffering, nobody come to their aid. So imagine, just look at the AU. I'm happy that somebody brought that on the comment section. Look at what is happening. The AU is not speaking. They don't even make a move to make it international. Rather, they try to cover up what is going on. You don't see, have you seen, we're even begging Delan. I don't know, that guy from UK to come and cover what is going on in Africa. Is that not a shameful thing? The international media don't care about you. Of course, One African is good, but you look at the puppet. These puppets are the ones that will create it. I don't know the ones that will make it possible to be a One African, the people you get elected. You understand? So when we're talking about One Africa, it's not because it's not a welcome thing, but let's be realistic. It's not about whether it's individual, whether it's the political aspect of it, but will it work?
Of lights, if all the